separated the peel or the skin from the fruit itself, from the pulp or bulbs, and then it separate. Second part is from the center part of the jackfruit to get this section of it. And then I have to separate the bulb from all these fiber looking things. And later I will show you what to do with that. So right now there's 3 sections. It will be the fiber, the bulb, and later on the seed. And the seed also is inside a socket here, so you can take that out, throw this part, and save your seed. Oops, so later I will show you I will show you what to do with all those. So here's how you separate the bulb in the seed. You just press it or just put a little slit there, open it, take that out, and make sure that this one doesn't get left there because that's kind of tough. So just pinch this side, and there you go. Toss that away, and I'll show you what to do with this later. Okay, you want to make sure that thing is sticking out. Okay, so here's what I did. The separated bulb, the seeds, I will cook later. And now we're into separating the fiber, and this is going to be cooked as vegetable. And you just slice the fiber away from this part of the jackfruit. Usually you could also include this part, like you could separate it like this, but since I have many, I don't need this part right here, so I'll just slice it like this. And also, before you cut your jackfruit, make sure that you line up your table or wherever your workspace, because it can get very sticky. And so I have the paper here. I'm gonna wrap this in different wrappers, like a lot of the plastic bags I saved for this, because some people, they don't like the smell of the jackfruit. So yeah, line up your workspace, and I use the freezer bag for it. Something to remember is to either wear your gloves. I have a lot of disposable gloves because they can be sticky, so that you don't want them on your hand. And some people, they use their hands and they would put like vegetable oil first, and they would also cover like the knife with vegetable oil, so that way it would not stick to it. However, luckily this particular jackfruit doesn't have that much sap to it, so I'm lucky that it doesn't stick to my utensil. So putting on my new fresh set of gloves here. I would usually store the rest of this jackfruit for later consumption, and I would just put them in freezer bags, and they can be frozen. I don't know how long, because they don't last long enough for me to find out. But anyway, yeah, just put some in the freezer bag, and depending on how many you're gonna use, then maybe like that, and then seal them, put them in freezer bags, give them to your friends, or cook them later. You could cook them for desserts. Like we have this dessert called ginatan, which I'm gonna use some of this later and save some for my family later on to eat. And I will show you later will do that and then you have to put the vegetable. Here's how many bags of jackfruit I have to freeze for later consumption. So here's what I did with the seeds. I put water that would just be covering the seeds, added some salt and boil it like you're boiling peanuts. And for this, I use this, you can use anything, but when it's soft enough, you just turn it off and let it sit there and drain the water. Okay, so what I'm gonna do with the fiber is I put like a can of the coconut milk. Let me this. Okay, I put a can of coconut milk and I'll just add some ginger to it, some onions, and I have a leftover roasted chicken, so I got like the thigh part of it. I sliced in different, I sliced the thigh part and I would add some garlic salt to it. A little bit of the minced garlic. Or you could use powder garlic if you want. Then I would put a little bit of the crushed red pepper. And I like using fish sauce to it. And for those of you who doesn't like fish sauce, then you could just add more salt according to your taste. I don't usually measure, so later on I will taste, add a little bit more salt if needed. Okay, so now I would add the fiber. I use a lot of this by the way. And since I have a lot of them, I'm not gonna put them all in there because there's not enough coconut milk, but I just put some that would cover enough for the coconut milk. And about that much. That's it. So the rest of them I probably would blanch them and freeze them for later use. So this, I'll just wait until it simmers down. And that should be it. I'll just keep stirring it a little bit at a time and then just leave it boiling like that. So it tastes good already, but to make sure that the fibers are thoroughly cooked, I added another can of coconut milk and just simmer it a little bit and then keep it on low until the fibers are totally cooked. And that's it, and it tastes great. And so another thing that I forgot to add is the pepper. So just put some pepper. This should be ready. Okay, here's the, just to test if it's done before you drain. Just cut it in half. And yep, that's done.